I definitely still did the vocal lessons with the teacher that I've been with since I was 9. She's like locally in Jersey, so it was really helpful just preparing and also, I definitely the mindset of going into a competition like this also there's a lot of unknowns. You're just kind of sometimes
Hmm.
just it's the waiting game also, and that can also I think really deteriorate your mind and just it hurts. It's a hard process. So I think just also gearing myself for the opportunity that like this is just something fun to do. Just go in there kind of open-minded.
Hmm.
So I think that's really the prep I was doing before the blind audition, and even before that, you're just kind of like making sure that is this actually happening. So I think it was a mixture of not only vocally preparing myself, but and also just making sure I knew who I was as a musician before I got there, because I think that a lot of people um, who you see on these shows, they also sometimes don't do as well when they don't really know their genre, know
Hmm.
exactly like who they are as a musician. So that's the work I was doing. So that I mean that helped way more than anything. So
So taking away from what you said, that you made sure that you know who you are as a musician, what
yeah.
your strong points, what your genre are. So can you expand a bit more on that? So how do you define yourself as a musician?
I've listened to all types of R&B, pop, soul music since I've been a child. So it was a no-brainer that, there was already bestowed what kind of artist I wanted to be since a young age. So it was kind of a no-brainer. My parents kind of already knew. So that was the easier part. I think it was just also more about personally knowing that like, no, this is the exact music that I'm good at. We as young children, we don't really, everyone likes to sing, everyone likes to dance, but it's like
Hmm.
what's actually sticking with you and what are you actually good at? So I mean, my parents played Stevie Wonder in the house, Nora Jones,
Hmm.
really everything from a young age. So I think that Ray Charles since a young age. So I was just hearing this stuff and I'm like, well, I like this. And I was repeating the riffs. I was repeating a lot of similar stuff. So that's why I just knew that this was what stuck with me more than any other music. And it's pop
Huh.
R&B. There's such a wide genre that,
Hmm.
it falls in. There's just so many artists that can fall into these. So there's really no label, I feel like, for that kind of genre because there's so many artists that can fall under it. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely see myself I definitely see myself falling right where Nora Jones, Stevie Wonder were like right at a young age. So it kind of worked out.
So you don't fear being typecast into this one particular sort of a singer who only is mostly comfortable in this particular genre that you told me about your interest lies in, or like
Yeah.
how do you overcome that fear of being typecast or just being identified as a singer who sings in a particular genre?
Yeah, I think that that's the beauty of music. I feel
Hmm.
that a lot of people are so sometimes against
Hmm.
going out of their comfort zone to
Hmm.
sing other things that are not to
Hmm.
them. And I've not only grew up singing or listening to all this like Nora Jones, Stevie, all
Hmm.
of these amazing musicians. I've also did musical theater growing up.
Hmm.
I always expanded my horizons. I was around my grade school had a music everywhere, and so as my high school. So I was into musicals. I did a bunch of, different things. So I think that it's so in this business, it's so easy to just be like, okay, well, this is the music I like. I'm gonna stay here. But personally, I feel like I like to go out my comfort zone. I think even on the show, like there was a lot of songs that there was not many songs, but I mean, I had 3 performances, so I feel like out of the 3 performances, yeah, maybe there were some performances where I was like, I don't really know if this is in my comfort zone, but like I want to give this a try because also I know that I can do this, and
Hmm.
it's important to show that you can get out of the comfort zone that you're so,
Hmm.
placed under the category of. So. I think also being doing musical theater and stuff, as a kid I knew already I knew more than anything that I liked pop and R&B music. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's really good to know. And coming back to the blind audition, how nervous were you while you were there at the show and you had all the judges, their chairs towards you,
Yeah,
and you were just like, okay, it's my chance. I've finally made it here. How do I make the best
absolutely.
out of it? And like, I noticed that your parents were also there with you for the auditions. And how much pressure did the presence of your parents, their support, take away from the nervousness that you had?
Oh my gosh. So the blind audition, yeah, that was the most nervous I've been in a very long time. I think
Okay.
that I don't know. I honestly was curious to like just I didn't really know how nervous I was going to be. I think until that
Hmm.
moment, you really, as you go on stage, you can prepare all you want, but until you're in the moment, I
Hmm.
think that and it's game time, you're like, all right, so I'm gonna go do this. All right, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. You're gonna go out there, and then by the time you go out there, and I think when I saw my parents for the first time, because I
Mm,
honestly wasn't really sure where they were gonna be. You know, on TV it looks so different, so it's like you didn't really know. But when I walked out, I got to see them, and it was just, it was special. It was like a foreshadowing of my
mm.
whole life
Life,
and my
yeah.
whole career,
Mm,
just 100 times over, and it was just so beautiful. Honestly, if I was able time to just get emotional, I probably would have because it was just so special. But they've worked effortlessly.
mm,
They've worked so hard to get me in for 4 years of Berkeley through, helping me financially, socially,
mm.
everything, and just driving me to and from dance lessons, vocal lessons. Like they're a huge part. Your family is like a huge part of,
Absolutely, yes.
yeah, of who you are. And I mean, and
Hmm,
I'm just so close to my parents. So it was just overall so special. I was so happy that they were able to share that moment with me because, that's something that is the once in a lifetime opportunity. And I'm happy
hmm.
that my parents were
They
both
spent it
able
with
to
you.
like see it and be there. And, it was
Yeah.
just so special. So,
And I noticed your father's reaction the moment Snoop Dogg turned, even at your first, like the
oh my
first note
God.
that you had, and you had Snoop Dogg turning to you, and then it was followed
Yes.
by Reba. How did you feel when you had the singer like just turning within seconds? I mean, tell
Oh
us
my
about how
gosh.
much would that would have felt.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think back because like in the moment you're like also just trying to get through the song. So I think when he turned, I don't know if it even registered. Like I watch it over all the time, but I'm watching myself and I'm like, holy crap, he turned. So then also like let me keep singing and
Singing,
in my
yes.
mind I'm just saying go, keep going, because like
Huh.
there's still three other people that potentially
Three
can
other people,
turn.
yes.
So, but also when you see the first person turn, it's like already in your mind that you go through like, well, I guess let me just keep going. I mean, I'm already on the show.
Hmm.
So at this point, it's like, I mean, and I'm so blessed that Snoop was the first person that turned. I mean, he was one of the people that I really wanted to turn. So
Hmm.
it really worked out. But oh my gosh, yeah, I don't think it registered until after. And I'm like sitting there, standing there and singing. And I'm like, what am honestly, watching it back, I even was sitting here like, what did I even sing? How did I even sound? Like, I'm like, I don't even know. I'm like, I have no clue how I even sounded. So, but yeah, the most special moment. I mean, that was the blind audition, hands down, was my favorite. My favorite. It's awesome.
Okay.
So
That's really lovely. And when you realize that you're finally at a national singing, reality show which has global reach, and you told me that,
yeah,
being on the blind audition has been one of the most nervous that you have been in some time. But while
of
you're there at
course.
the show and you see all these other contestants, equally talented, equally
Yes.
versatile, did you ever feel underconfident or nervous? Because end of the day, it's a competition and somebody has to
Yeah,
win. So how did you tackle that
of
nervousness
course.
that you had?
I think, the moments and the months and, preparing for this and just really, internalizing and also getting to know these people on a personal level.
Hmm.
Because, I spent some time with them. So I think in my head, it was nerve-wracking because also I was so worried that my friends I've made weren't going to go through too. So I think it was a mixture of, oh my gosh, I'm worried about myself, but also I'm worried that I'm not going to see them or how it's going to be.
Hmm.
It's a lot of things going through your mind at the moment, but also I think the main thing I was worrying about was just me because I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm the only one that can do this. And in every
Hmm.
scenario, I think there's so many things that people should be worrying about just
Hmm.
themselves. And
Hmm.
that's how I feel in this moment. It's like I'm worried about not only myself, I'm worried about my friends, but also I want to get through.
Hmm.
Selfishly, you want to get through. You
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I want
absolutely. If it's
to
a competition, you're
I
there to
mean,
win. Yes,
you're there to do
to
your best
win.
thing, put your foot forward.
Hmm.
But yeah, in the back of my mind, I still was thinking about all my good friends that I've made and everyone on the season seriously
Ah,
they're so special to me. Like you become family with these people. You see them every single day.
absolutely.
It's
Yes.
emotional. So,
And like taking away from this, tell me one thing that you thought is your strong point that puts you apart from everybody else out there.
I am a person that I've worked hard my whole life. I will say that
Hmm.
I mean, singing when you're 9 years old, that's a young age. You're
Hmm.
in a
Very
weird
young,
period of
yes.
your life.
Hmm.
You're going through changes in your body, your voice. There's a lot of things that, and there's many times where I said to myself, like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't know if singing's for me. There's so many times you
Hmm.
question it. And the one thing I will say is I am a hard worker. I've been working my whole life. Like my grandparents had that party store that they showed on the show. and I've been working there since I was like a baby. And that's something that there's kids that after high school would go play sports, and I would be going to play. I would be going to work. So it's like that. I think really separates me from
Hmm.
even the people in the competition, because I knew that like whatever task I was given, I was going to execute the best of my ability. And that just goes to show like just how hard of a worker that I am and I've been and I always will be. And it's like, even if it's a task that I'm not as comfortable in, I'm never going to show it. One, two, I'm also just going to do my best. Like I'm just going to always do my best. And I think that um there's so many situations just in life that I feel like I
Hmm.
could have handled it differently, and but I handled it in the most professional way as being a hardworking woman. So I think that that's something that definitely separates me. Just from the industry in general, I feel like there's a lot of people who, even after The Voice, you sit here and
Hmm.
you're like, okay, so I mean, I'm off The Voice. It's like, okay, there's still work to be done. And I think a lot of people thought that on The Voice, it was kind of just going to be handed to you,
Hmm.
like, here's your, and there's just still a lot of work to be done and more to work on. So that's what I think separates me. It's
Hmm.
this is not an easy business to be in, but also I'm just
Absolutely.
grateful to be a part of it.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah.
And how did you feel during the battle round with Oceana and you realized that, okay, maybe your journey with the show has ended for time being and you have to get back?
Oh
How did
yeah.
you process? How did you take over your elimination back then?
I mean, to be given Natural Woman was so special to both of us. I know
Absolutely.
Yoshi has sang that song multiple times, but I think I went into that. I mean, I don't think I know I went into that round a little bit nervous because I was, it was a little bit out of my comfort zone. You don't touch Aretha, you don't touch Whitney, you don't touch these artists that are so, Jennifer, like that are so
Hmm.
powerful. So I was just a little timid because we both wanted to execute this performance being,
Hmm.
we can do this and it's going to pay homage to her, but it's not going to ruin this song for anyone,
Hmm. Yeah.
like no one's going to hear this and be like, oh, I heard this song. And so, I was a little bit out of my comfort zone when it came to the song, but man, am I so grateful Snoop gave that to us, and he, really thought that we had the ability, which we did. And then, when Yoshi won, in my head, I was just thinking, of course, because she's so amazing. Like I was giving, she chose me, and in the moment, you're like, oh my God, yes, I would love to be your partner, and it's just like a whole whirlwind of like, wow, 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 we keep going. This is awesome. She's my partner. We're friends, like, and we're friends, and I think that it was just a blessing to sing with someone like that, and how educated and how just smart, beautiful, and talented she
Hmm.
is. And I'm just lucky that she's my friend, and
Hmm.
we really, really did the best job. But when she won, I also was just so happy for her, because in my head, I want my friends to win too. So, but also selfishly, it was sad. I was upset.
Yeah.
I think I
I mean, yeah.
definitely, you don't, in the moment, you're not really
Hmm.
registering also like, oh my God, I'm going home. It's like, oh yeah, she won, but also it's like that means I didn't win. So, yeah, and I know Snoop really loved our performance. So I feel like in the back of my mind a little bit I was thinking maybe someone will steal, maybe someone will save. I'm not really sure. So I mean, yeah, when I got saved, I was in total, oh my God, they didn't show it, but backstage I'm just like crying. I'm like, this is the ugliest cry, but how grateful I am to see Snoop backstage with me, and he's just, reassuring me that like you're not done in this competition
Hmm.
yet. Like there's
Absolutely.
still more to this, and like
Hmm.
that's why, that's also and that's just a reassuring factor of like why I'm so grateful that I picked him, and just to see Yoshi's reaction just being so happy
Ah.
for me too just really validates our friendship. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, I was happy for her, sad for me, but I'm happy that I got saved. So it was just a full circle. And then we got to see each other after, and it was just the biggest celebration ever. So it
Okay,
was so good.
that's really lovely. And Natalia, you mentioned about how you two were nervous about singing a song from such a celebrated artist, paying homage to her.
Yeah.
So this is something that I've observed singers have. It's like when you're
Yeah.
singing a song from a very talented artist, somebody who is very famous, how do you make sure that while you're singing, you are not completely, undermining the singer's essence, but at the same time also representing your individuality through that song? How do you balance that?
Absolutely. I think that it really does matter on the artist. I'm just a
Mm.
person that I look up to all these amazing vocalists, so I truly don't like to step on the toes of them. And I know
Ah.
that they're so special to me.
Mm.
So I really do think it depends on the artist. I mean, singing it and how even with Stevie, like I Wish, like
Mm.
that was a song I sang so many times, and you're watching the performance over and you're like, wow, like this is an amazing song that I love. And you're like, I also, he's a man, like, I love Stevie. I've been listening to, I feel like I know him for as long as I've been listening to his music for. And it's
Hmm.
like to that factor. And you just, you sing it the way you would want to sing
Hmm.
it. And I think that's the most like respect you could have gave to them.
Hmm.
I think you doing it the way you
Huh.
see it and hear it is the way that it shows you how you respect them.
Hmm.
So that's how I look at it. And that's how I did it with I Wish. That's how I did it with Out Here on My Own for the Blind. And that's how I did it for A Natural Woman for the Battle. So yeah.
That's good. And Natalia, how has the fan interaction changed post your appearance at The Voice on social media or when publicly people
Yes.
come up to you and take selfies for you? Tell us about
Yes.
how has it been after your like stint at The Voice?
I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. I've never, I mean, everybody wants when they're, young and they're like, I want to be famous. And it's like, fame for
Hmm.
me is it's a funny topic. So I feel like
Hmm.
I, I'm, I've looked up to so many amazing people that if I feel like if I met them, I would be starstruck. And it's like, I'm now someone that people really look forward to seeing, people look forward to doing an interview with,
Hmm.
or people look forward to, and that's something that I'm just going to keep on trying to grow that following. And, these people, there's always people online that are going to
Hmm.
say some things about you,
Hmm.
whether you like it or not. Right.
Absolutely, yes.
But it's like at this point, it's like I've done something that a lot of people can't do.
Hmm.
And it's like, and
Absolutely,
that's
yes.
why people don't do it. So
Hmm.
it's like at this point, I'm just enjoying the people that really respect me and respect the fact that we, all the contestants that were on the show, we
Hmm.
got
Hmm.
up there and did our best, put our best foot forward. And you know what? I every person that ever, supported me, I just truly, it's a blessing. And like, I'm just so super, super, so grateful for them. And yeah, I'm hoping, the fan base just grows and people really stay tuned for all the music and all the cool stuff that's coming after this. And, working with Snoop, we all are going to be
Hmm.
doing so many cool things. So
Hmm.
I'm really, really excited. I'm excited. I think it's just something to look forward to. So really
That's
excited.
really that's really lovely. And Natalia, you mentioned about how there have been days where you don't just feel like singing, you're like, okay, I don't want to do this, but how do you
Mm.
keep going despite that thought of, you're exhausted or it's very tiring
Yeah.
and maybe now you need to stop? How do you not stop despite that?
Yeah. And I mean, for doing it as many years as I have been, I think, there's always if there's a pit in your stomach, if you don't do something that you've always thought about doing, you'd be thinking about it for the rest of your life. And I think to stop now would be silly because I've
Absolutely.
already done something so cool.
Hmm.
So it's like to do something like that and to just, really be in front of everyone watching and just, there's so much more to this journey. And,
Hmm.
at a young age, I think that when you're young, you're just also, your mind's everywhere. You want to play sports, you want to dance, you want to hang out with your friends, you
Hmm.
want to just be a kid. And now as an adult, I'm way more grounded. I think
Hmm.
that the only way to keep on, warming up the muscles of my voice is to just practice, to rehearse, to just,
Hmm.
keep treating this like a muscle because it is. And there's so many people who like you're training for a race, and if you stop running, it's like how would you ever get to that,
Hmm.
goal of finish line? So it's like that's how I see it. It's like there's never I know the goal and where I want to get to, and it's like the only way to keep doing that is just to keep on
Hmm.
singing and being. And I just love this job. Like I could
Hmm.
not have picked a better job. There's so many people every day who hate their
Hmm.
jobs, and I just am so grateful that I love mine because
Do
it's
what
just
you
a
do, yes.
very powerful thing. So do what you love, and I think that's what in any advice I give to anyone, it's just do what you love, and if you
Hmm.
don't love it anymore, then that means maybe you shouldn't
Maybe
do it
should.
anymore.
Yes. Okay. And
Yeah.
Natalia,
So
you have also been a halftime performer for Sunday Night Football. I saw on your
yes,
Instagram. And tell me how
yes,
different is the experience and the performance while you're performing, for an audience at this great football stadium and while you're there at the show like The Voice. Is there anything different or are you the
yeah.
same in both?
No, I mean, the nerves, I mean, I always get a little nervous before a performance, just little jitters, but nothing as into the voice. I think that there was a lot more pressure, a lot more maybe even stress for the voice,
Mm-hmm.
just because like you also want to do so well. You've been practicing all this
Mm-hmm.
time. You just want to do the best you can. But for the halftime thing, this is something fun. We got to talk to Snoop and he said it, just have fun. This is something that this is like easy to what you've done, like
Done already, yes.
you're entertainers, you all are.
Hmm.
So it's like for all of us to just get up there and everyone on sitting in the stadium, I'm sure they were just happy to also just hear music for the halftime. I mean, we were just having fun, and I feel like that
Hmm.
really showed. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's definitely it's a bit different, but it's also in a better way of being like, wow, this is just a good thing we did. How blessed we were to be able to give in this opportunity, and we just all really enjoyed it. We had fun. So yeah, definitely a bit different for sure.
Yes. Yeah, one is for fun and another is like you're a competition and you're really
Yeah,
nervous
for
to
sure.
make
You're
sure that you do your
competing.
best. That's
Absolutely.
lovely. And Natalia, what is this one advice that you have taken from your mentors from the show that you have been applying to your music career now?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of been talking about it, but I feel now there's no way to, if you do stop, there's just no way to, how would that get anywhere? And I definitely feel like as myself now, I still go to singing lessons. I'm still working on my craft.
Mhm.
So that's what I would say is, yeah, as I've been saying, but it's true. Like the minute you stop, working at it and like
Hmm.
gigging, the minute you stop trying to sing, or even there's some days you're not gonna feel like, oh, I'm not really in a singing mood. My voice is not coming, it's not coming out the way I want it to.
Hmm.
It's just a bad day, but it's not a bad time to stop singing in your life. And I think the minute you do something scared is when you know you're doing it right and you're doing it brave. And that's why it's something that's so special. So, I mean, I did The Voice scared and it was the best experience of my life. So, I mean, doing it scared doesn't always mean it's wrong. It just means that you're just nervous to do something, but it also would
Yeah.
mean that you would have done it at all if you never did
Hmm.
it. So, I mean, I really want to like encourage everyone to just follow that dream and that path because I mean, how many times would I have auditioned and maybe I wouldn't have this year and that would have been the
Hmm.
year that I got on. So you really got to take the chance here at that point. So
That's very profound. It's not just something that you can apply to music, it's something that could be applied to life in general.
absolutely.
There's so many times we come across rejections that just breaks us, but we have to keep going despite that.
Yeah, the
That was very,
rejection.
yes.
The rejection
And
is so important.
Natalia, so how does your music career look now? What is there on your plate? How you're panning out as a new album coming up? How you're engaging with your audience? Just tell us
Right.
about this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of things on the board here. I mean, I'm definitely looking into just releasing more music. I mean, that's always you always want more music out. That's always the
Hmm.
thing that musicians I feel like are always we're writing, we're collabing, we're all this stuff. We're in the studio, we're singing. But yeah, that for sure. I mean, I'm still in a wedding band in Jersey, so I'll be doing that.
Hmm.
But I'm looking to travel. I'm looking to just, sing really with my friends from the show. I'm looking to just travel anywhere to get my own name out, my performances. I'm really just looking to get my name out there way more. And I mean, who knows it? Maybe, I don't know, maybe another show in the future. I don't know. I have no idea.
Absolutely.
So
There would be.
at this,
There's so much
we
coming.
always, there's always stuff you can do. I mean, we're
Absolutely.
always looking for the next cool thing. So yeah, I'm just keeping my options open. I'm looking forward to hopefully working with Snoop and my team and yeah, just going from there. So just crossing my fingers.
Okay, absolutely. Yes, we have our fingers crossed. And before we go, I want to ask you that what is this one advice that you would now give to your young teenage self who was just starting to sing and had
Yeah.
this big dream? So what would you tell to her?
I would tell my younger self to not care really what people think. I think
Okay.
starting out, you're also so nervous to be like, oh my God, are people going to think I'm weird for singing? Or are people going to think I'm weird
Yeah,
for
yeah.
loving this thing
Hmm.
so much? But, even going to Berkeley, I always, in the back of my head, was just like, damn, people probably think I don't know, like, oh, Miss Hollywood for going to Berkeley. And it's like, no, I've earned everything I've
Hmm.
gotten. Like, I've earned that, college. I've earned the voice. And it's like, and that's why it's like, I'm proud of that. And, not, I would just tell myself not to care. Like, it's this life's too short to just care what people think. Just go for anything, put yourself out there, be silly. And you can look silly sometimes and look dumb sometimes. And that's okay too. Like, just do you and not care what people think. And that's what's going to get you farther. So.
Okay,
I would tell her that.
that's very lovely, Natalia. And it was such a great conversation with you, getting to know about your
Thank
journey
you.
and
I'm so
every
happy.
hardship that you have come up with and how
Yes.
optimistic you are towards your career and future. And I
Thank you
wish you
so
all the
much.
best. Looking forward to your new album and singing coming up. And yeah, have a nice day.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you for having me. It was fun. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Take care. Yeah.
Okay.